I'm just setting up for another cleaning up cut. Take the mill scale off, and pet hate is having to put a packer in, because if I wind the bolt down all its way till it bottoms out, it still doesn't grip a 1/2 inch bit. I mean, ideally they should be 5/8 of an inch pieces, and that'll just about grip that, but it's still a bit well, I've not got a lot of faith. I could make a new ring and make that 1/2 inch thick instead of what's it now, oh, I don't know, yeah, 3/8, something like that. Anyway, what I thought I'd do is keep my eye open for a piece of decent grade tool steel, or a piece of steel that I can harden, and then make up a little T-shaped packer, which is the same as Steve Summers uses on his Cincinnati shaper, and it just, yeah, makes the whole thing a lot easier. You drop it in, when you undo the clamp bolt, the packer stays sitting because of the T-shape, it doesn't drop through. So we found an old leaf spring. It's a bit of a chunk, but there was only half of it, so it meant I could handle it, and I've hacksawed through it. And yeah, that took a bit of time. So we've got a rough piece. I've not cleaned it up yet. I might even stick it in the wood burner, get it up to temperature over for a few hours, and it'll only be what, 300-400 degrees, something like that in there, and just leave it to cool overnight. That should soften it off. But yeah, we're just chewing off the rust and crud on the outside of that piece of spring steel. It's a 10th hour step over, 60th hour depth of cut. We're running in second speed, pretty slow. Just trying to establish a face. You can just see the piece of steel in there. It's glowing red. I think that'll be annealed well when it comes out. Leave it in there overnight. So that's the piece we cut off and cleaned up, and it went into the wood stove last night. It was in there for about 7 hours. So 3 hours it was glowing red for, and then it's cooled down over the following sort of 4 or 5 hours. I'm just going to stick a wire wheel over it, clean it up, and then mark it out. So I was trying to see if I could see the attempts at dot punching I did yesterday. See, I actually broke the tip off on the dot punch. Okay, that's it. Anyway, I'll clean it up on the wire wheel, and then we'll have a look. Well, put the wire brush over it, and I can barely see the dot punches I made, and they destroyed the tip that was on that dot punch. So I reground it and quite merrily went through and marked it out with a dot punch, and it's that's the tip. So the wood stoves definitely softened it. Anyway, so I'm going to put a 11mm drill through there, open it out, and then take a hacksaw by hand, join up that line, and then use the shaper to take off that lot. Bring it back when I've got the drill done. Well, the drilling, it was very much like drilling stainless. It hardens if you don't push through. Or at least that's what I found. Anyway, so I've cut out the relief, so now I can run the shaper tool into the gap and remove that lot. I could hacksaw it down, but it's, as you can probably tell, I'm out of breath just from cutting those two. So we'll set it up and take the sides out and start cleaning it up. A slight battery issue, but back up and charged. Anyway, I'm running it slow, and you can see by the discoloration of the chips, it's still bloody hard. Come on, there you go. They're 100th thou depth of cut and 10th thou step over. Sorry, 7th thou, something around 5th thou step over. I'll try and set you up in the overhead camera, and you can watch the next pass. Just watching that the heel of the tool doesn't collide with this, so inch it through. You hear the pressure release at the end of the stroke. So it's only slow, but they're coming off straw coloured or blue. And it's a bit smoky. She's still unimpressed. Well, it's a bit rough. I've flashed it over with a surface grinder. All that remains is to harden it again. And I can't do that till I've made up my forge. So that's my job over the next weekend. and then try and make sure my gas bottle's full. In fact, next weekend's Christmas, so it won't be next weekend. Yeah, might do it one evening. There we go. It's not bad stuff to work. It's I mean, I've not worked a lot of tool steel because I don't buy it. I find it. But it grinds all right. It files fine once it's softened a bit. Yeah. Anyway, I also took the opportunity to give that a flash over on the surface grinder. It was full of dinks, but we've got reasonable contact area now. Tickety boo! As I say, it's only based on Steve Summers's unit he's got, which he made for his shaper. I can't claim design rights. Okay, I'll have to get an extension piece made up. To focus on the end of that. You're recording now, yeah? So I've just made up an extension to let me to get full depth. The trick is, don't want to go all the way through. So we are 18 inches, 13, that's 5 inches, so I'll go down another 2. We're done. Right. You recording?
Yeah.
That's I think it was £4.60 for that cutter. I'm not really bothered if it destroys it, but it's wouldn't be any good for wood now, but it's fine for doing this. Yeah?
Yep.
That's the hole for the burner. So we've got a bottle of propane, which is questionable as to how much it's got left in it, and my small propane torch. Small in so much as I've got 2 heads for it. The other one is a bit fierce and a bit massive, so I thought I'd give the smaller one a try to start off with. And that's vegetable oil, 2 litres of. I don't think you'll be able to see in there because of the light contrast, but just starting to get a red glow in the bottom of the, you can just see it on the wall there with the flames hitting. So we'll see how long it takes to get it up to temperature, if indeed it will get it up to temperature. Wondering whether that's actually not hot enough. So we're reheating it because I don't think the first one got hot enough. I guess it depends on your definition of cherry red. I'd say that's getting there now. So we'll give that a few minutes to soak. Well, unfortunately we lost the imagery from tempering it. Yeah, moving on. So that's that done. It's I can touch it over with the file. The file's not skating off, but it's proving hard just to lap it on the diamond stone. So it's, you know, it's certainly not as hard as it could be, but it's certainly more than adequate. I didn't bother trying to reheat it and quench it in water or salt water, because I want to get on with getting that lot away. And then I've got the thing in the black wrapping has got to go out through either that gate or around the side, so I've got quite a few hours of work humping that thing about. It's the day after Christmas Day, it's cold, I'm cold, and I don't really want to do anything other than put this lot away. I'm going to do the outside work. This was a parcel sent to me as a gift from all the way from Australia, and the two that sent it know who you are. And I'm very appreciative. I thought I'd do a bit of a sort of an unwrap, but without boring everybody piece by piece. I'll get it all out, lay it out, and then you can have a look. See, bring you back in a mo. I'm just holding the camera because it's I can't get the far enough away to get it all in. So we got a set of imperial drills, what looks to be a full set of Whitworth taps, all the way up to 1 inch and dying up. Some slot drills, slot mills, some screw extractors, and then a set of metric taps from something like, I think it was 12 or 16, all the way down to M3, which I could just about read. Nice set of new unused file. Well, majority of it's all looks to be new and never used, or if it has been used, very little. Most of them are in original packaging and not been opened. Some nice quality little needle files. So we'll be able to do a Tom Lipton on them. And I did get a little love note from the postage fairy, Emma. So it's from Marcus Christensen, which I always seem to get wrong, and Emma Ritson. And really looking forward to using some of those. I mean, there's some really fancy taps, which are, you know, drill and tap at the same time. There's I can't even remember the names of half of the things because they're not things I've used. I mean, that I think is so that you can you tap into a blind hole and it winds the swarf straight out behind it, as opposed to the more standard approach, which is what I've got, which are blunt because they're all bought used. And some couple of little sample tins of the anchor lube, which I've had a degree of success with, but it's not easy to get hold of here in the UK unless you're into buying bulk quantities. So yeah, very, very appreciative. There's enough there to keep me going for my working lifetime. Cheers Emma, cheers Marcus. As a slight aside, you know when they say new old stock and it arrives in packages, a pound's worth of sixpences. Must be Australian currency. Can't believe they're still using sixpences. Couple of additional bits. There's some nice bit of shim stock. I assume it's a boiler in the making, is it, Emma? I'll have to have a look, see what I can do with that. And then from Emma, some of them little bleeding things you have to drill a hole and whop them in. I think a screw rivet or something like that. A handy number. And then right in the bottom of the box were these drawings, which I've not actually opened up yet. Ooh. So that's a set of plans for a tailstock turret. Morse taper 2. How many positions? Can't read it. 6 by the look of it. 3/8 by 3/4. That'll be a nice project. And then there's a stock take clearance. Another catalogue for a 2" by 12" mini lathe. That casting looks familiar. A few other adverts and things in there. The Petal micro lathe. Designs for a collet chuck. That's out of the model mechanic. Some literature on the Petal lathe. Another set of plans for the collet chuck. And then a set of plans for a dividing head setup, which I have seen one of these somewhere. I can't remember where I've seen it. Now that's ironic because I'm currently making a set of dividing plates, so we'll see whether that can actually fit onto them. And then a set of plans for a model maker's lathe. I'm assuming this is yeah, John K. Mould 2 1/16 centre model maker's lathe. So I'm assuming you bought the patterns and worked from that. Dog's making an appearance. So yeah, if any of those plans are of interest to a viewer, drop us a comment. If I can't make use of them, I'll certainly pass them on. Cheers very much. This rather sad little setup was an eBay find. I didn't pay a lot of money for it, but they're quite nicely made. The bottom of these look lapped. A bit of rust on them, so they need cleaning up. Little machine jacks. That's what, about 3 inches. That'll probably go to 2. And that's a 1 to 2. And they're just a set of toe jacks. Yeah. This little lot was bought based on a photo on an auction site. Frustratingly not eBay, otherwise I would have sent them back. They were described as high-speed steel, large lathe bits. Anyway, they've all come and they're all welded carbide, which is of sod all use to me. The idea was I'd have a good set of stuff to play with on the shaper, but I mean they're massive. That's what, inch and a half by an inch. Bigger than my tool post. So if anybody wants a large lathe tooling with carbide insert or brazed carbide, drop us a comment. If you pick up the postage, you can have them very cheap. Anyway, you win some and you use some. For what I've paid for them, which was basically postage and a tenner, chop them off and the bloody steel is worth more to me. You win and you lose. This is rapidly becoming a workshop clearance video. This was another purchase. I can't remember where I got it. I've just dug it out from behind a machine that I've moved. It was obviously bought as a swan neck tool, but again it's 1.5 inches by inch. So if anybody's got a planer or something like a 30-inch shaper, I've got a nice tool bit for you. It looks to be welded on high-speed steel, but yeah, was it Hydra tools, so it'd be a decent quality. Anyway, yeah, make us an offer.